TikTok has been feeling the heat from lawmakers in recent weeks, especially during last week's hearing on Capitol Hill, with some pushing for a full-out ban of the social media app due to national security concerns. And a poll of American adults conducted last week revealing that more than 60% of Gen Xers and baby boomers would be in favor of shuttering TikTok in the U.S. Yahoo Finance senior columnist Rick Newman is a TikTok star. He is a legend. Are you even on TikTok?
I think I have an account, but I do what everybody says, which is don't put it on your phone, which means therefore it's useless, right?
Yes.
It's not on your phone, it's useless.
Okay, so are we going to see a full-out ban?
There's no chance. We've seen all this data. TikTok has 150 million American users. Almost all of them are under the age of 35. That is like 45% of the U.S. population. By the way, the percentage of members of Congress who use TikTok is around 5 or 6%. So this is something many Americans are familiar with. Most members of Congress are not familiar with, and that shows up in the hearings when you get some dumb questions and things like that. Everybody thinks that young people don't vote as much as old people. That's true, but they do vote. And Democrats, they tend to be Democrats or vote Democratic, and Democrats think young people were actually decisive in the 2022 midterm elections, which helped them underperform, bigger turnout from younger voters. So the Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo said, what I feel like what happened here, if you ban TikTok, you instantly lose 150 million voters forever. And I think that's about right. So the reason you're not hearing any Democrats in Congress defending TikTok is because it's owned by this Chinese company, ByteDance. You can no longer defend anything associated with China. Everybody in Washington has to be tough on China, at least verbally. But they are not gonna let Congress ban TikTok. The Democrats still control the Senate, and I think there's just about zero chance that there will actually be a bill that could pass Congress that will ban TikTok.
So if you don't see any changes coming to TikTok, what was also interesting, and the CEO of TikTok brought this up, just about the fact that even U.S. social media platforms, they have failed to prevent a lot of the misinformation, a lot of the criticism on their site. Do you see those types of issues continuing to get bipartisan agreement, and one area where both sides of the aisle may continue to agree on, at least over the next couple of years?
So there's different types of bipartisan agreement. The bipartisan agreement we're talking about here is a bipartisan agreement to just complain about social media. I mean, how long has Congress been complaining about social media? What's it doing to our kids? It's ruining, and when, the TikTok CEO testified last week, you heard a lot of criticism directed at him that was just criticism of social media in general. Yeah. It wasn't particular to TikTok. So, I think that right there tells you how muddled this is. There's been a lot of talk about possible legislation of other types of social media, Section 230, the Communications Decency Acts, and so on. We've been hearing about that for years. Nothing has happened. So I think this is just one of those issues that is kind of like a golden oldie, or becoming that in Washington, which is members of Congress and politicians think it's important for them to take a verbal stand. They want to be tough on these companies, but I don't think there's any member of Congress who will cast the deciding vote to put TikTok out of business.
100% agree with you on that, and I went off on that for a while. But what will happen, because Senator Lummis from Wyoming said either it needs a full-out ban or some type of assurance that data is walled off from the Chinese Communist government. Are you saying nothing will happen?
So the threat of a ban is actually useful because kind of behind the scenes, this agency called CFIUS has been negotiating with TikTok about ways to make sure this data is not abused or does not make its way back to the Chinese government somehow. By the way, there's no evidence that any of that data is going back to the Chinese government. You could set up systems that are designed to watch for that happening. There have been some proposals that you set up a watchdog operation. And if this does become a problem, or when you do notice this is actually happening, the thing that we're worried about here is no longer theoretical, it's actually happening, then you take action. But to do it on a proactive or preemptive basis, when most people use this for entertainment, really is just kind of silly.
It's easy to get lost in TikTok. I'm one of those people. You start scrolling and you can be there
which is why the creators love TikTok, because it gets you to stay for a long time. Something sticky about it, right?
Yeah, never gone down the rabbit hole.
Really?
Never.
That's actually shocking to me for some reason.
Yeah, it is.
All right, Rick, thanks so much for breaking that down.